Hey everybody, what species actually starts in the stream, goes out to the ocean, and then a few years later comes back to the same stream from which they were born? We're talking about salmon, and you're going to get an up-close and personal look at them on this week's Beat Blast. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to this edition of the Beat Blast, sponsored by the Admiral Theater. Today, we are showing you the salmon runs that are coming in like crazy here in Kitsap County and all over the Pacific Northwest. We're very fortunate here in Kitsap County to have Salmon Docents who will scatter all over at 8 different sites around Kitsap to show you what these amazing creatures do every year here in the streams around our peninsula. So Marlene, tell me, why are we wearing these glasses right now?
Well, they are pretty cool, but in addition, they are polarized, so you'll be able to see the salmon so much better. If you don't have any, we'll have some for you to borrow.
What's kind of amazing to think about is that they started in fresh water for the first part of their life. They make it into the ocean where they have to completely change their bodies, and they come back pretty much 95% of them make them back to the same stream that they were born, which is incredible.
What they're doing, the female comes in, she's the one, she selects where she's going to build her nest or redd. She waits for a suitable male to show up. She actually picks her mate. Then, she'll lay eggs. She'll have probably in the neighborhood of 2,000 eggs. She'll squirt a few eggs out, and he will fertilize those eggs. And then she'll stay there guarding her eggs until she dies, which may be anywhere from a few hours to a few days.
When the salmon die after spawning, they decay and they provide nutrients for the trees and the other plants around the creeks.
These fish here will be coming out of the gravel probably in March, and you'll see schools of little fish, maybe an inch long, and being chum salmon, they head right on downstream. And they come back in 3 years as adults, the things we see right now in the creek.
So what you're telling me is the mom and dad never get to meet their kids.
The mom and dad will be long gone before the kids ever come out of the gravel. It's one of the sad, facts of life.
Yeah, I'm going to cry a little bit, I think. Story number 2. Have you been noticing that your garage door opener has been a little on the fritz lately? Some people who live around Naval Base Kitsap have noticed in the past week that their key fobs for their cars as well as their garage door openers have been having some problems. In the past, the Navy has come out and said that their aircraft carriers, which in that case would have been the USS John C. Stennis, have in fact done some testing that does interfere with garage door openers. However, when I queried Jake Chappelle, spokesman for Naval Base Kitsap, on Monday, he said that they've done no such testing. So our mystery continues. If you're having issues yourself, I would love it if you drop a line to josh.farley@kitsapsun.com and we'll continue to follow this emerging story. Story number 3. If you read your Kitsap Sun last week, you know that the USS Olympia fast attack submarine came into Sinclair Inlet. It's headed for Puget Sound Naval Shipyard where it will be decommissioned, cut up, recycled, and its nuclear reactor will be floated to the Hanford site. But before it did that, it had one last really amazing deployment. It went all around the world.
Olympia, fall out, gather round!
Well, so for the last deployment, we embarked on a pretty unique adventure. So it's not often that a submarine goes around the world, and we did so the right way. So leaving Pearl Harbor, going through the Panama and Suez canals, and then circumnavigating the whole way back. These sailors are going back to the fleet as experts at submarining.
Story number 4. Many of you know that I love to walk around Bremerton through its neighborhoods and even to see nature in a very urban environment. Well, imagine my surprise this last Monday when I was walking across the Warren Avenue Bridge and I looked towards the Olympic Mountains and there was all these birds flying in unison. I was really transfixed by the whole thing, and I had to reach out to Gene Bullock at the Kitsap Audubon Society, who told me that this is a phenomenon known as murmuration. Each fall and at sunset, European starlings in this case, fly in a huge pattern. Gene said that the reason that they do this is to avoid predators like peregrine falcons, who, when they're singled out, can be easily taken as prey. But when they're in a big group, it's a lot harder to do that. And finally, what's on tap for your weekend? Sponsored by the award-winning Silver City Brewery. Joining me is Amy Linhart with Kitsap WSU Extension. Hello, Amy.
Hello, thanks for having us.
So what can people expect to find with the Salmon Tours this weekend?
Well, I'd have to say they will find salmon for the most part. Lots of activities, lots of family-friendly games, and opportunities to interact with Salmon Docents who have been trained to share information about salmon and have conversations about that.
Awesome. And where can they go in Kitsap County?
We actually have 8 sites that span all the way from Indianola or Suquamish area up north at Cowling Creek, Paulsbo, Bremerton sites, all the way down to Gorst at Jarstead Park.
Awesome, awesome. Well, great event, and I hope to see all of you out at the Salmon Tours this weekend. Thanks so much for watching. Special thanks to those of you who subscribe to the Kitsap Sun. We could not do this without you. See you next week.